We're going to get into this arson case that popped up on a Seoul subway.
Right. So a fire broke out of a Line 5 subway train in Seoul around 8:43 in the morning on Saturday.
Yes.
The train was between 여의나루 and 마포 stations, which are crowded stations.
Yes.
So according to witnesses, the suspect, a man in his 60s, entered a subway holding a gasoline container, spread gasoline on the floor, and used a lighter torch to set some clothing and other kindling on fire.
Okay.
The passengers yelled fire and ran out. About 400 passengers evacuated out of the trains. 21 of them did wind up going to the hospital, but thankfully for minor injuries like smoke inhalation and sprained ankles. And Seoul Metro says that there's about 330 million won worth of property damage.
It must have been terrifying. And the police caught the suspect, though.
They did, but he was actually passed out on the subway. The other passengers, not realizing that he was the suspected arsonist, helped him. They woke him up and helped him to evacuate. He was talking to the other passengers on his way out, and the police very astutely saw that he had a lot of soot on his hands and stopped him. And he was put under urgent arrest and is being questioned. Reports say that he apparently told the police that he was unhappy about the results of his divorce case, and this is why he set the fires. There is an arrest warrant hearing scheduled for him at 10:30 this morning.
Wow, that is like straight out of like a storybook, but a disaster, or worse, was averted thanks to the calm reaction by the conductor and the passengers who helped to put the fire out.
Right, and because for some people who have been in South Korea for a long time, seeing the word subway fire, it kind of triggers a gut reaction because there was a tragic, fatal Daegu subway fire, also an arson attempt that led to many, many lives lost. So this time, the conductor and some of the passengers used a fire extinguisher on board to quickly put out the fire.
Yes.
And according to a Nokot News exclusive, the Yeongdeungpo office of Seoul Metro had a live fire drill just last month over kind of the exact circumstances. And also, thankfully, this conductor, a veteran who's been on the job for 28 years. The fire authorities even commented on how effective the initial response was. The conductor also drove the subway to the emergency evacuation site a few stations out so the trains could operate again. It was only after he fully completed his job, he began to vomit, which is a sign of smoke inhalation. He was taken to the hospital. Also this, and by the way, after the Daegu tragedy, the subway, Seoul Metro, and other metro corporations, they completely redid the inside of the train, so it's fairly fire retardant. So, but people do say safety inspections are written in blood, and unfortunately, it had to happen, but thankfully, crisis was averted in this case.
Indeed, and what a hero and heroes,
absolutely
as well. Well, next, with a long weekend coming up for Memorial Day, and of course, peak summer vacation season coming up soon, a lot of people are saving money to travel. So I guess we can take a page out of this guy's playbook.
A 33-year-old American man, he's traveled to 33 countries, but mostly on credit card points.
Wow.
So pretty much kind of for free. His goal is to go to 35 countries by the time he's 35. He's well on his way. Here's the kicker. He's a social worker, and they are famous for not having high salaries.
Yes.
With an annual salary of $78,000, which isn't much in the U.S., especially depending on where he lives.
Cost of living.
He's a travel hacker, though. Smart traveler, strategically uses credit card points and rewards to score free or discounted flights and hotel stays. And this man, David Doe, he's redeemed well over 1 million points and miles in the past 8 years.
Is this doable? Like how?
I mean, obviously. So he has, get this, 30 active credit cards, 30, which he rotates because depending on what month it is, credit card companies will offer different points and different miles. So for example, in March of this year, he spent over $700 on restaurants on one card that gave him 5% cash back on that spending.
Okay.
Also, just knowing kind of when to rotate cards. And he also, of course, travels on cheaper airlines and modest hotels. So this is kind of an inspiration for us all.
Indeed.
Smart traveler.
But I mean, to
30.
keep track of 30 credit cards,
And
I
not
can't do
lose
it.
them physically.
Yes,
right?
yes. Well, over the weekend, switching gears, an emergency alert popped up for Busan residents about this crow or raven attack, right?
I got this alert and I was like, wow, huh? But then also, I'm terrified of birds, so terrifying. So Yeonjae-gu District sent out a report that a crow or crows at an apartment complex, and by the way, a group of crows is called a murder of crows, which is very appropriate in my opinion.
Yes.
They began attacking a resident, prompting the district to send out this alert. So the victim, the individual Che, lives in this apartment complex, and he says this is habitual. The crows have attacked him twice previously while he was using the stairwell under some like thick bushes or trees.
Okay.
He said that the crows would fly over him, like purposely bump his head to the point that he actually has a bump. And he says at that point, he was with his younger brother, who are both healthy men in their 20s and 30s respectively. But they say even so, being attacked by a crow, it's just fairly large, 50 centimeters long, was quite scary.
Yes.
But here's the thing, unfortunately, when he reported this to the district office, the office apparently told him that it's hard for them to capture the birds because the apartment complex is private property. Yeah.
Oh, but then like as soon as you mentioned this, I was thinking of like Alfred Hitchcock and like being attacked by like birds, right? And apparently this is not just like a singular case.
Right. I mean, it goes back to Hitchcock in the 50s and 60s. But even in Busan, that number's been on the rise. In 2022, just a few years back, they received 35 calls regarding birds. This year, first 5 months alone, 74. So it's more than doubled. And birds have also caused blackouts. A couple large apartment complexes in Yeonjae-gu and Suyeong-gu districts, they have had power outages because the birds either chewed off the wires or they ran into the wire transport boxes.
Yes.
Again, but it is harder for the authorities to hunt them down. But we do hear these cases quite a bit now, like in springtime, because it is their breeding season. So they do get very aggressive and sensitive because they are trying to protect their nest and their young. So please be extra careful. Also, crows are really smart. They have really good memory. They recognize human faces, remember them, communicate with them, and they hold a grudge. There's your expression for the day. Holding a grudge means like 앙심 품다, 원한 품다. So this is a research that's been going on for over 10 years at the University of Washington, my alma mater, also where a crow took my breakfast bagel. And
like literally?
And I actually had to give it to him, her, because I knew back then crows remember faces. I'm like, I don't want your friends gang up on me. I hate birds.
Here's your bagel.
This research shows that crows will communicate and remember your face for 17 years. What happened is, this is hilarious. Can we interview him? This professor wore a scary mask and temporarily trapped 7 crows while wearing that mask and then let them go. Identify them with tags. In the following years, he and his researchers would randomly put that mask back on and walk through campus. And over, they would hear crows scold, like caw at them and try to attack them. In one case, 47 out of 53 times.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not only the 7 crows that he trapped, but they communicated that information.
They passed it on?
They passed it on. So-and-so who looks like such and such, he or she is dangerous, don't go near them.
Wow.
And the aggression would increase for years and years. It was only after 17 years that the researchers wearing that mask, they were able to walk through campus without any crow recognizing them.
This is scary.
Yeah. Also, it's a lesson. Nature comes back. It holds a grudge and comes back with a vengeance.
Karma.
So share your food.
Yes. So here is something you may consider drinking for your health. You may have already had some coffee.
Yes, I'm in the middle of my cup right now. This is my break. So at least for women.
Oh,
I know. Is that coffee in that tumbler I see?
No, it's just warm water.
It's just regular old healthy water. All right, so this is according to research, and I can already imagine the comments. We do get a lot of back and forth about, is coffee good for you? Is coffee bad for you? Does a cup of coffee a day keep the doctor away? All right, I'm citing Harvard, a team at Harvard University. They found that having a cup or 2 of coffee every day, it may help women preserve both mental and physical function. Basically, helping them age well. Like, slow aging has been such a buzzword in Korea. maybe coffee could be included into your diet. So Harvard University researchers, they followed a group of nearly 50,000 women across 30 years. So it's extensive. And they found that women who drank caffeinated coffee in their midlife, so they're 45 to 60, they were more likely to exhibit healthy aging. Right. Interestingly, no connections made with tea or decaf. So keep that in mind. So what is healthy aging? Well, and how much coffee? We're looking at an average of 350 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 2 tall-size Americanos per day.
Okay, so we're not talking about the whole like venti size, like huge. But I want to go back to this term, healthy aging. What exactly is this? I like
Something
it.
that we all aspire to, right?
Yes.
All right, so living to the age of 7 or older, being free from 11 major chronic diseases, and maintaining physical function, also good mental health, and showing no cognitive impairment and no memory complaints. So both external, physical, and mental. So the lead author, Sarah Mahdavi, said that the study is the first to access coffee's impact across multiple domains of aging over 3 decades. And it suggests that caffeinated coffee may have unique supporting age trajectories. But, keep in mind that it's an observation. They didn't actually feed the participants coffee and saw how it aged, because there's a whole thing about the glass of red wine per day, and so take everything with a grain of salt.
Yes,
but it's interesting.
Right. So very interesting indeed, this last story, but of course all the stories as well. So we'll definitely check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Bye-bye.